March 26th, 6:31. We'll go ahead and get this meeting started. This meeting of the Seguin Independent School District has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, Section 551.043 of the Texas Government Code. 1B, let's start with the pledges of the United States flag and Texas flag, and then followed by a moment of silence. And today, our guest for the pledges was Ms. Gabby Tibble, 7th grader from Barnes Middle School. Will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
And at the moment of silence, I would ask to keep in mind the students, staff, and family members of the Hayes Consolidated Independent School District, Tom Green Elementary, that were impacted by a tragic bus accident last week. So now we'll move on to the next item, is 1C, Superintendent Announcements.
Good evening, board members and community. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'd like to share a recap since our last regularly scheduled board meeting, along with a few accolades. On Saturday, March 23rd, the 3rd Annual Community Kite Festival was a big success. Co-sponsored by the Seguin ISD ACE program and the City of Seguin, there was plenty of family fun, music, games, and crafts to be enjoyed by all at Manuel Castilla Park. Thanks to the gentle wind, kite flying was a breeze, even for me. More than 200 of our families and 600 individuals were in attendance. Thank you to all involved, including volunteers from Seguin Walmart, and especially to Allison Seidenberger, who oversees our ACE program and coordinated the event. Kudos to the Seguin Education Foundation for another successful Mardi Gras Gala held on February 22nd. The fundraiser broke another record by raising $117,000. Thank you to all of our dignitaries, sponsors, SEF board members, businesses, community, and staff who helped make this possible. As a result of the generosity of the Seguin community, these funds will be earmarked for classroom projects that will help bolster our students' education. As described on the NASA's website, on April 8th, 2024, in case you have not heard, a total solar eclipse will cross North America, passing over Mexico, the United States, and Canada. A total solar eclipse happens when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, completely blocking the face of the sun. The sky will darken as if it were dawn or dusk. On April 8th, Seguin ISD will be canceling classes in observance of the solar eclipse. We aim to alleviate rising concerns surrounding transportation, but mostly student and staff attendance during what promises to be an awe-inspiring experience. This decision reflects our commitment to the safety and well-being of our students, staff, and families. This determination has been made with careful consideration of the historic significance of this celestial event and the unique opportunity it presents to our community. We are fortunate to reside in an area that will allow us to witness this phenomenon firsthand. Fortunately, we have extra minutes built into our academic calendar, so students will not need to make up the day. Do I hear you cheering, students? Woo! This decision reflects our commitment to the safety and well-being of our students, staff, and families. I encourage everyone in the Seguin community to take this opportunity to witness a solar eclipse safely and enjoy this extraordinary event with friends and loved ones. On a closing note, we lost longtime Seguin Education Foundation board member, Steve Shapey. Steve was a proud Seguin High School graduate who was always willing to support our district over the years. Also, Pam Krippner, a retired Seguin ISD educator who is a co-director of our Destination Imagination program, recently lost her husband, Chris. In addition to praying for Steve and Pam's family and friends, and as President Guerra already mentioned, please continue to pray for the students, educators, and families in the Hayes Consolidated ISD. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. McHugh. We'll move on to item 1D, the board member reports, and we'll start Grace.
Okay. Well, I didn't do as much as I usually do because I had a vacation in the middle, but to get ready for that vacation, I would get all fancied up. So I went to the cosmetology lab, and Ms. Daisy and Ms. Genesis did a pedicure and manicure for me, so I was ready to go. Thank you very much, and I loved it. That was good timing, right? I could tell you about that. The other event that I went to was the Queenie's Academic Night, and I enjoyed meeting parents and teachers there.
I got to see our wonderful theater department perform the one-act play, The 39 Steps. And the students were amazing, the cast and crew. Of course, they have wonderful teachers. But what I really appreciated seeing was during the public performance, how many people from the community came and how many administrators and teachers came. The theater teachers from AJB came, like everyone came to support. And then as the kids traveled to Birdie Champion, which is really far away, we also had administrators from the high school come to support kids. So they did a wonderful job, and the support from our Matador community is amazing as well. So I wanted to lift up both sides of that.
Nothing to report this month.
I was able this month to take a trip over to our transportation department with Dr. McGill, and we presented 2 Matador pins to a couple of extraordinary staff members who, and I think we talked about this at our last meeting, but when we had the state UIL mariachi competition that was held here, one of the buses from, I forget where they were from, the Valley? Laredo, broke down, and these 2 guys went out and helped them get them here, and so they were able to get here and then get back home on their way. And so it was just a nice time of acknowledging that and thanking them for that extra service that they did on behalf of the district. And also, I'm just really happy that we're going to be building a new transportation department soon. And I know they're busting at the seams there, and everyone was so welcoming and excited that we were there, and it was a great day. So just wanted to highlight that.
Well, I was invited to speak at the Seguin High School Leadership Academy on last Friday, and that was a pretty awesome thing to get to be able to do. I really appreciate Coach Ferris and Mrs. Brown for inviting me out there, and Ms. Brown doing the AV thing for me, making me look cool. It's very hard to do. And it was a really good experience. I really enjoyed being able to speak with those future leaders that we're developing in Seguin ISD, and that's not it, it's all for this month.
This month I attended the graduation at the Mercer Bloomberg Learning Center. There were a lot of graduates, and I could see that their mothers, grandmothers were there, which is also very good to see. I guess they're the pushers and got them to graduate. So I'm glad to see that, and I'll attend the next one too.
I was invited to go during career day at Ball, and I had a really good time there with the kiddos. I actually got to wear my lab coat, the same lab coat that I wore at work, but I made sure that I wore a blue one, not a white one, because I didn't want to scare them thinking I was a doctor. So then I read a book, What the Chemists Do and Responsibilities, a little small book. And I also went to Jefferson, where they had that light museum. It was very interesting. Those kids were really getting into the displays that they showed. So they had a good turnout from the community there. So those are my two highlights.
Oh, also real quick, wanted to say a big shout out to the coaches, all of the coaches for middle school and high school. Been to a couple of the middle school track meets that we've been hosting for all of the area. Today's districts, and then tomorrow the district finals. But like every single coach for both secondary, middle school, and high school, they're all out there running multitude events all at the same time, running that thing. Like what they do in a weekend, other places, these guys are doing like 4 hours. So it's very impressive to see all them working so hard so that these kids get a chance, opportunity to compete. And we have a wonderful, beautiful facility that everyone loves to use. So just thank you very much for all that.
Now we'll move to item number 2, recognition, campus presentation. Dr. McGee.
Good evening, Board President Guerra, Dr. Vihi, board members. Each month, our campus principals designate deserving students we are privileged to honor during our regular school board meeting. We are Matador proud to have these outstanding students with us tonight. Students, please step forward with your family as we announce your name to receive the Superintendent's Student of the Month Award. Hadley Harder. Hadley is a 5th grade student at Weiner Elementary School. Her teachers say that she is a hardworking student who is a true example of a Weiner Matador. Hadley is always respectful, always willing to help others. Hadley is a trustworthy, positive student who always brings out the best in her classmates. Hadley recently had a huge accomplishment. Her rabbit was named Grand Champion at the 2024 Guadalupe County Youth Show. Hadley's parents are Jeremy and Lindsay Harder. Congratulations, Hadley. Congratulations, Hadley. Thank you. Gabriella Tipple. Gabby is a 7th grade student at Barnes Middle School. According to Principal Jason Schmidt, Gabby has been an exceptional student all year. She always has a positive attitude and willing to help out in any way she can. She is very focused on her academics and has developed good study habits to lead her in the success for her future. She is a great example of a Jim Barnes school spirit, and we are fortunate to have her positive energy on campus each day. Additionally, Gabby is involved in beginning clarinet, student council, pre-athletics, and a competitive gymnast. Gabby's parents are Jamie and Landell Tipple. Congratulations, Gabby. Congratulations, Gabby.
Now on to the Apple Award. We have been honored to present the Apple Award to so many employees and community members over the years. Each is truly deserving in their own right. Tonight, I am honored to be a part of a first for Seguin ISD. Anyone who has been involved in public education knows that our teachers are heroes. This hero designation also extends to the substitute teachers who are part of our Matador family. The students and staff at Weinert Elementary School are fortunate to have a substitute teacher who is dependable and always willing to go above and beyond her duties. She puts her students first, and they love her for that. Last month, one of her students had a medical emergency. Always in control of her classroom, she remained calm and knew how to care for the student until the school nurse arrived. This educator was able to share accurate and timely information with the nurse so that the nurse could relay the information to emergency medical personnel. We are truly blessed to have this dedicated substitute teacher in Seguin ISD, and we are honored to have her with us this evening. Let's have an applause for the March 2024 Apple Award recipient, Imelda Cavazos.
The next item is 2B, campus highlights, and Denise Strickland will make the introduction.
This evening, we are Matador proud to learn about activities and initiatives in our schools. Let's welcome Seguin High School Principal Christine Perez, who is here to highlight the work of the students and staff in the cosmetology program, as well as the latest developments in the MapCast program.
Good evening, Superintendent Beahill, President Guetta, and Board of Trustees. This evening, our campus highlight will focus on our cosmetology and MapCast programs. As part of one of our campus goals to cultivate a culture of leadership development and efficacy amongst our students and educators, it's my privilege an honor to introduce our cosmetology and Math Class educators. We're matador proud of each of these stellar individuals. This evening, you'll hear from Mr. De Leon, cosmetology teacher, Ms. Guerra, cosmetology teacher, Mr. Cantu, Math Class and AV production teacher. You'll hear from Alexandra de la Cruz, Xavier Dorado, Adam Vela, and Krista Estrada.
Good evening, Superintendent Vial and President Guerra and trustees. My name is Mr. De Leon. I am the cosmetology teacher for the freshmen and seniors, and we both have each 30 years in the industry teaching in private and public schools. Over the last 2 years, we have doubled the cosmetology program. In 2022 and 23, 68 to 109 students. 2023 and 24, 109 to 147 students. In 2024 and 25, our goal is to start the school year close to 200 kids. So we are really excited about that. We have, over the last 2 years, partnered with other programs and organizations offering free haircuts to support the Seguin community and junior schools. Programs like AIDS, the Winter Locker, Special Ed, programs rewarding teachers at Seguin High School with certificates to get services, like Teacher of the Year, Ms. Nobles. And I'll hand it over to Ms. Guerra.
Hello, I'm Ms. Guerra, cosmetology teacher for sophomore and junior class. Skills USA is an organization that empowers students to become skilled professional, career-ready leaders, and responsible community leaders. Skills USA competition has 3 categories: hair, skin, and nails. This is the second year competing in Skills USA and first in aesthetics category. I'm happy to announce Ali de la Cruz placed first in district, qualifying Ali to compete at state April 4th in Corpus Christi. And now, Ali.
Good evening, my name is Alexandra de la Cruz. As a student who benefited from the grant, I'd like to express my gratitude for the support that allowed us to acquire the necessary resources for me to compete at district level. Thanks to your generosity, I am now equipped and excited to represent our school with excellence and pride at state level. Hello, my name is Taylor Kruger. I've been the cosmetology president for the past 2 years in a row. I've had the honor and privilege of seeing the seniors and juniors participate in the Seguin Youth Career Expo. As you can see, there's us participating. This is where we've got the opportunity to inspire younger kids and generations to start thinking about joining the cosmetology program. As the cosmetology program has received a lot of money and grants, we have also helped the Seguin Education Foundation raise money and find the funds and grants for necessary. For example, we did the Princess Party package, which is one of the ways that the Seguin High School juniors and seniors were able to raise money. What we did is we did the hair and nails, which we were able to educate the young girls and have a good time with them at the high school and offer our services and everything that we do with that. I'm proud to say that I'm one of the seniors that will be receiving the cosmetology certification at the end of this year.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Timothy Cantu. I'm the audio video production teacher at Seguin High School, and I'm glad to say I've seen all of you in my classroom at one point or another, so it's good to see you outside of it. And I thank you guys for having us here tonight. I've been teaching for 19 years in the AV field, and my focus for my students is for them to lead our newscast independently of me, without me, and for them to be able to troubleshoot, work as a team, and problem solve is my goal. So if I'm not there, they can run our newscast live every day without me there. And they've done it before in the past, and I'm proud to say that they continue to wow me every day because they do a lot of work and they work as a team, and it's great to see them building themselves. So I let them lead our newscast, and I'm going to let them lead the rest of this presentation. So this is my team here, and I'll start out with Adam Vela.
Good evening. My name's Adam Vela. I'm a senior here at Seguin High School, and I've been a part of MacCast for about 2 years now. Being able to, like I said, go live every single day for our announcements, our daily announcements, it's a great opportunity for us to be able to read scripts, to be able to prepare the scripts, also to prepare reading off of the teleprompter as well. We have it on an iPad, and it's a very great opportunity to be able to do it like the real world does it at like NBC or ABC, or the big newscasts over there like at KSAT 5 and stuff like that. It's a great opportunity to get hands-on work, like I said, and being able to work the camera, being able to go to the football games, go to the basketball games, and record stuff like that, and being able to capture the moment for students to look back on as well. But I'm going to pass it to Krista, who's going to go more in detail about the yearbook.
Good evening. My name is Krista Estrada, and I'm a photographer for our yearbook program. We fulfill the role of promoting not only for yearbook, but for MACAS through our social media accounts. It's our job to document all the great things our students are doing across our campus and in the community. The positions Adam and I have talked about mimic what goes on in a real-world media company, which we hope in turn prepares us to enter the workforce and with an advantage over other entry-level students.
Some of the community work that we did, presentations about our program, some at the elementary schools. At Potland Elementary, we did a kind of a showing how the cameras work, showing them some of our announcements videos as well. And we are doing one coming up at Potland, I believe. And so some of the things that we did also was the Seguin Youth Career Expo, where all the surrounding middle school kids came to our booth and saw some of the hype videos, and some of the football kids were very interested in that because, you know, it takes time to be able to create something, and being able to be creative with what you have, especially. And emceeing some of the sporting events that we have, basketball games, we love to MC those because we get to announce the players, the position they play, also to play music during their timeouts. The stream live events, I believe Ms. Dunstan mentioned the Mariachi State Festival that we had. More than, I think, 75 mariachi programs come through Seguin High School and be able to go to our facilities, but also we got the chance to be able to live stream it as well. And so it's a very great opportunity, and it sounded very awesome. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm David Dorado, and I'm a junior in Seguin High School, and along with community work, we also have certifications and we go to competitions. Certifications, we test for our Adobe Premiere Pro, along with Adobe Illustrator, After Effects, and Photoshop. We're able to use those certifications in our real-world future and allow them to expand our possibilities. We also compete in BPA, which is Business Professionals of America, where we compete against thousands, and I mean thousands of people. And it's honestly very exhilarating. We get to meet new people, have new experiences, and fortunately this year, we competed in Corpus Christi, where our two broadcasting production teams took first and second at regionals to make it to state. So we're all very grateful, and we're very happy to gain that experience and be a part of that.
That concludes our highlights this month of cosmetology and MACAS. Are there any questions or feedback or any comments for our leaders up here?
I do. I'm just so proud of all of you, and I know that I see some of you not only doing what you talked about this evening, but you're very involved at the high school, and I look forward to you having fabulous careers, and I hope that you'll come back here one day and be able to give back to the Seguin community. We love you, and I'm just very proud of you.
Yeah, these are two programs that the high school can be extremely proud of, and the same with Linda. I recognize so many of y'all from different things, and I don't necessarily, I haven't, just because you're so involved in so many things, and so the fact that you can be president of this and do all those competitions and do all these things and still be a part of everything, that's really impressive, and I know that your sponsors have a lot to do with that.
I'd like to just add that everything I've seen is so professional. And I think that's where you're going, is with your profession. But when I was doing pedicure and manicure, the girls were very professional in the way they acted and treated me. And I felt spoiled, of course, which is what you're supposed to feel. But just watching y'all and your work, it's just so professional in the classrooms there. So you're on your way.
Watch out for Adam, though. He's got some killer dad jokes.
Thank you both of you. That's a good program that both of y'all have. And now we can put the faces to the audio when they listen to the radio station. So now we'll move to item number 3, audience with the board, and no one signed up from the audience, so we will move on to the next item, which is number 4, report/information items. 4A, City of Seguin, and it's concerning the Sager easement update. Carla will introduce Tim Howell, City of Seguin.
Thank you. Good evening, President Guerra, Dr. Vigil, and members of the board. Tonight we have Mr. Timothy Howell from the City of Vernon. He is the Director of Water and Wastewater, giving us an update on the easement that would could potentially impact the property at 1616 West Court Street.
Good evening, President Guerra, members of the board, Dr. Vigil, thank you for having me. I'm very proud to be here to showcase the continued cooperation between the City of Seguin and the school district on many of our projects. For example, recently the district came to the city with an issue at the Vogel Elementary campus, and we worked together to provide wastewater service to that campus. And then again on the A.J. Riesenmeister Middle School campus, we worked cooperatively, or we're working cooperatively to establish a water line easement that's going to be very near that campus. I'm very proud to be here tonight. My name is Tim Howell. I've been with the City of Seguin for the last 6.5 years. I've been 28 years in the water and wastewater industry. I don't have to tell you all about the unprecedented growth that the City of Seguin has experienced. Currently, there's about 16,000 homes in some stage of development throughout our community. And the City of Seguin provides wastewater services to a very large area that extends out north of I-10 up towards Link Road between 46 and State Highway 123. And this project is intended to upgrade an existing 12-inch line and 24-inch line and make them 30 inches to provide the necessary capacity to continue wastewater service to the growth in our community. You can see on the slide that the green line is the scope of the entire project, and the red line indicates where we're going to come very close to the Sager Middle School campus at Court and Goodrich. The goal of every project is to minimize the impact of buildable space, no matter whether it's an ISD campus or just any easement that the city is considering, and also to minimize the impact to the environment. You can see the picture of a very nice oak tree at the corner of Court and Goodrich, and both the district and the city want to work to minimize the impact of this tree, and so that so that this tree is not impacted by the project. Initially, the city proposed an alignment much like what you see on the screen, where we're cutting the corner of the Sager Middle School campus and staying well away from the tree. However, this impacted approximately 0.35 acres of buildable property. It also minimized the number of 90-degree bins in the collection system, and for folks that aren't in the industry may not realize, but you want to avoid 90-degree turns in a wastewater system. It's a gravity system, so water is simply flowing downhill. So you want to try to minimize the amount of 90-degree turns, and it stays well away from that oak tree at the corner of the property. However, realizing that there was that we could do more towards to lessen the impact of buildable space, the city came back with an alternate alignment that decreased the impact of the buildable space by almost a quarter acre. We've reduced it down to 0.12 acres. And both the district and the city feel like we still minimize the risk to the oak tree, that will stay beyond the drip line of the oak, and the experts feel like that's great. I'd like to also take this time to thank James Pisano for his continued effort in our cooperative relationship. He and I work very closely on all of the projects that I've missed, so thank you, James. The next steps to get this thing going is to execute a right of entry with the district, which would then allow for some survey work to be done and environmental due diligence. Then we'll follow up with an appraiser and who will write up an appraisal for the property, and we can then begin negotiations with the district. Once we reach an agreement on the easement, then both the district and myself, I will present to City Council a purchase agreement, and then the district will return to the board for approval on a purchase agreement, and then we can set a closing date. And I'd be happy to entertain any questions.
So that new line's gonna be a 30-inch
Yes, sir.
from all of Sacred?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All of the extent of the scope of the project, that whole green line.
But you mentioned the 24-inch and
Yes, sir.
12-inch?
Yes, sir. There's existing 12 and 24 along that whole green line, the scope of the project. And so the project is going to upsize everything to a 30.
Oh, good. Any more questions?
Okay,
Yes,
is this an effort to get everything ready for when everything's moved out to the Drama Creek area?
I'm glad you asked that question.
You know, I live out there and across the lands, I know.
I see. So it's necessary regardless of that project. However, as you know, the growth in the city is unprecedented, and the city is increasing its treatment capacity. The project you mentioned will decommission the Walnut Branch treatment plant, which is right in the middle of town, just about a mile south of the square. So we're excited about being able to decommission that plant and move all of our treatment processes out close to the auxiliary airfield off of Sykes Road. And so, yes, ma'am.
So if that's getting decommissioned, where's all this wastewater?
So it's continuing to flow, and that's the thing about wastewater is we can't turn it off. So there's going to be a pump station, or what we call in the industry a lift station, constructed very near the existing Walnut Branch wastewater treatment plant, which will then convey all of the flow that you see here in the Walnut Branch sewer shed. It will convey that flow to the newly expanded Geronimo Creek wastewater treatment plant. I'm also proud to say we finally, today is day one of our construction on that project, after a long, long time. So 1,278 days we'll be finished with it. I'm counting. Very excited.
This is a tidbit of information. I have a B license in wastewater operations with the city of Austin. That was one of my first jobs. Even though I worked in the lab, but we were supposed to take an operator license. We didn't operate the plant, we just analyzed whether.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was interested in.
So operators and the lab staff will have to work very closely. I hold AA in water and wastewater.
That is hard to get. Any more questions?
Just real quick, so going back to the new easement plan, I know my father was a plumber for a very long time. We did notice also that the old easement plan only had 245s. This one has 245s and that 90-degree turning, so we don't necessarily want. Is that going to be?
So the Court Street is a TxDOT or a TxDOT street, and TxDOT requires 90-degree crossings of their. So we can't avoid that. We're going to cross court at 90 degrees.
Any more questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Now, item 4B, Seguin ISD bond construction update. Bill Lewis will present.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Lewis will be presenting a bond update on all three bonds, bond 2019, bond 2022, and bond 2023.
Good evening, President Guerra, Hill and School Board. Pleasure to be here to present the updates on our fund projects. It's a hard act to follow when we're talking about stuff that runs downhill, but we'll be okay tonight. First update is about HAB. So we have reached the point at HAB where we have pretty much construction has ended for the most part. We had building E, which is the science building, social studies building for some of the old time folks that finished, and furniture was moved in over spring break. And March 24th, yesterday was kind of when it was ready, and there's a move-in scheduled to start next week into that building for the campus, so it'll be in full use. The really good news is the last 2 portables came down, and so there are no more portables at HAB. In fact, all those portables have been destroyed probably way past their useful dates. And so they're gone, disappeared, and in a landfill now, so that's good. We're about 90% complete on the landscaping over at HAB. Tennis courts are complete. They've been unused already. They were used for tryouts a couple weeks ago. In the process, access controls have been installed and are active. The athletic area roofing, all the major work was done there, and we really appreciate the campus for helping us accelerate that schedule. It was going to be a much longer process. Our new superintendent, Eric Kreider, worked with principal and staff to make sure that it got accelerated and got that done sooner than we thought we were going to get it done. The greenhouse got some new skin, so as we continue to revitalize the horticulture area, again, all the 6 portables have been removed. Starting this Friday, we're going to start our complete building walkthroughs. We're starting on one end and kind of making our way across. We're going to do a complete inside and out punch list over the course of about 12, 14 days. We're going to do the entire school inside and out, top and bottom, and make sure that punch list is complete. And once we get to the point of the punch list, meeting our satisfaction of completion, and we sign off, then at that point the construction period will be done, and then we'll move into a warranty period after that. Nobody's on site during warranty period, but then you get your warranty starts once we sign off on all those, and we really get our completion and full occupancy pass. There's a few pictures. I really just kind of focused on a couple areas I talked about. The upper left is the main hallway that goes down building E. You're looking from the door that goes outside back towards the hallway where the rest of the school connects. There used to be a door that led outside. Now it's an enclosed hallway that leads over to the other buildings. Upper right is one of your central academic classrooms. This was taken over a week ago, and there will be, you can see like in the back kitchen area there, there'll be a washer and dryer, a dishwasher, whole kitchen set up for our central academics class. On the left there is a full service restroom and a shower, some other things for our kids. Bottom left, you can see the greenhouse getting its new skin, and on the bottom right, it's just a look of the new look on the outside of that building. All gone is the old faded yellow tile. The windows have been replaced, some new facade put up. Looks really pretty, and some new landscaping there on the right around those trees. Fall, early childhood. If you blink, you're going to miss fall getting done because it's getting really, really close. The site is being prepared and graded. The inside, the tiles up. They're installing, the whiteboards are up. All the millwork's been installed. Sink work, a lot of the security pieces like your fire extinguishers, your AED machine is there. Floors in place. We're going to start a punch list in early April for that site. So when you hit that punch list time, you're nearing completion. Here's a picture of the outside of the new facade right there on the left, and then the inside picture, I just took this one before I came over here. It's a little bit more updated than the one I had from last week. So you can see that the millwork's in, and they're starting to put the whiteboards up. The technology's actually on the other wall. You can see those things going fast and moving fast. It is anticipated that teachers will be able to move their stuff in before they leave for the end of this school year in preparation for the next school year. Just real quick on updates of things that are continuing. You talked about transportation. We have an approved design. Now we're in a geotech and working on construction documents. Hope to go out to our August bid date for transportation. Furniture, you had an update on furniture last board meeting. That continues. Ag facility. That ag facility is going to be something we can just be so proud of in this district. It's the schematic process is going along great. We're meeting with ag teachers and Mr. Boo monthly at this point. We anticipate 1, maybe 2 more meetings, and I think that whole process will be complete. We'll be ready to move on to the construction documents for that piece. Roofing projects, probably a little bit more than 95% complete as they start to disappear around here. That's just, nothing goes better to preserve our buildings longer than keeping the roofs up and maintained and in good shape. Safety and security, barns, and our new McQueen Elementary, all those documents are out to bid. They come back in April, I think it's April 2nd, and then for the April board meeting, there'll be a recommendation for a contractor for those projects. Our baseball, again, is going up super fast. Concession blocking is in progress. The curbs are already around the field. The subfield is already in. They have moved turf delivery up a month, so that'll start coming in today or tomorrow. We're going to have turf delivery. And then April 4th, they'll start installing turf. So we'll be in about a month early. Doesn't mean they can walk out there and play on it in April, but it's going to be ready for them to have their camps and do things like that this summer and ready to go. Light poles arrive around April 17th, so when those come, you'll see those start going up. So those are the big things that you see that'll be going in. We do have a bond oversight committee, our second one coming up on April 16th. We're going to have our meeting here at 5:30. Then when we conclude that meeting, we're going to invite that group over to the baseball, softball field. Maybe as an extension, I'm extending that invitation, but we'll be over there. Well, we're not going to put hard hats on and walk the whole site, because by that point there'll be some sidewalks. We'll probably stay on the sidewalk piece where it's safe. We can look at the concession stand. You can stand in one place and kind of see how the progress is going on the fields. So they won't be ready to walk on or for us to be on the fields or anything like that. Just some quick pictures. Upper left was today, the blocking for the restrooms. You see on the right is the softball batting cage. Bottom left is just a view from behind the baseball. And the bottom right is an inside view from the concession stands. Looking out. I'm available to answer any questions or any other additional information at your request.
Did you say that meeting is at 5:30?
Maybe our bond oversight committee is at 5:30 on the 16th, and then anticipating maybe 45 minutes of a meeting. Could go as long as an hour. I don't think it'll go more than an hour. Then we'll make our way over to the baseball. All right. Well, I think
Are we on schedule on the bids to go out for the McQueen? I don't know if it'll be a major project.
they're out there, and April 2nd, they're due on April 2nd. Correct, April 2nd? The bids are all due on April 2nd? Or April 4th? I think it's April 2nd, but April 2nd. April 2nd, they'll come in. And that's the day we'll just look at them, and then we'll set the committee to review. They'll pick the ones they want to go on to an interview process, to move forward there and make a recommendation at the April board meeting.
Who are the committee members?
I don't know.
It's Mr. Bernardo, Mr. Josh Bright, and Ms. Denise Preston. I'm sorry, the budget committee?
Oh, so the
Committee
for the bids. Look at the bids for McQueen.
That is Jennifer, James, Warren, myself, and Robert Gonzalez.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you, Bill.
All right.
Moving on to item 4C, Matador Special Services Department, program review. Ms. Dean will present.
Good evening, Board President Guerra, board members. I'm delighted and proud to be able to present this update to you on the great work that our teachers and staff have been doing this year in the Matador Special Services Department. What is special education? We serve all students that reside in our attendance zone who are found to be eligible for services. We do extensive testing and qualify students based on disability and need. We serve students aged 3 through 22, and additionally, we serve students with a visual or hearing impairment from birth through age 22. So we're out there in the community finding students in need and connecting them to services. As of October 2023, our student count was 1330. The October count, this is our official PEAMS count for state purposes. That's approximately 18.2% of our total population served in SPED programs this year. Since the 2018-19 school year to our current 2023-24 school year, we've experienced a 17.2% growth rate in students eligible for services. This is in line with the state. Last year, the state of Texas total grew by about 97,000 students in general. Special ed across the state grew by 69,000 students. So it is a phenomenon that is happening in our state, probably largely due to the COVID learning issues. Seguin is on trend with what is happening. So we've got to prepare for that growth and expect impact to our programs. And this is a graph of the students served by location. Each campus, as you can see, all of our campuses serve a large number of students with special needs, and they do it well. So our special ed programs and supports that we have available, we've got what's called intervention and resource classes. So this is where students are either served in the general environment or pulled out for small group settings. We've got our behavioral reset centers. This is new. This is our second year for Behavior Reset. This is a program that serves all students, not just special ed students. If a student is having an issue in a classroom, there's a person available, a staff member, to pull them out, help them work through the issue, and get them back to class with an understanding of what happened and how to handle it differently next time. We teach a social skill. How can you handle that when you get mad? How can you do something different? It's been very successful. We've had it at all campuses, and we're expanding to the high school next year. The Plus Behavioral Support is our behavioral unit for students that need additional behavioral supports to get through their school day. It's a specialized teacher and paraprofessional. It's an inclusive setting, so we try to keep kids in the classroom as much as possible. Then we have our Essential Academics and Structured Learning setting, which is our students who have more basic academic needs, cognitive impairments, settings where they can learn at their pace on the materials that they need to be working on. And then our Seguin Works 18 Plus Transition Program, which I think many of you got to tour last year. And they're out there doing good work daily. I visited the program today, and it's amazing what they're doing with students and how they're finding new ways to serve students in our community. They're opening a clothing center, a closet to provide clothing to families in need. They run the food pantry. So great stuff going on over there. If you want to go back and visit and see them, please let me know. In 23-24, with our growth and our teacher concerns, we have added a lot of staff to support, to provide additional services to teachers and students. We have 2 behavioral specialists that work on campuses daily to help solve problems with teachers and students. We have support specialists. Mr. Cadell is a bilingual special education specialist, helps connect learning to students with all types of needs. We've got Ms. Long, who is an instructional specialist who helps coach teachers and works with programs to ensure IEPs are being met and developed well. And then we've got Ms. Rachel Bloxon, who's an essential academic specialist who helps coach our essential academics teachers to provide that specialized learning to the students in need. And finally, last year we added art facilitators to take that paperwork burden off of our teachers so they can spend more time with students in the classroom. And we've got 4 art facilitators, and they are making a huge impact on our campuses and our classrooms. So we appreciate the work they're doing. And all these staff members are dedicated, hardworking, and I could not do without them. So in the community, we do a lot of engagement opportunities. I see many of you come to our events. We run the Halloween Fun Fest every year. This started based on parents saying that they could not take their children to other events. It was scary or it was not sensory friendly, so we developed a carnival and avenue where all children could participate and find something that they could do and enjoy, and it's expanded greatly. And I think we enjoy it as much as the kids do, so we have a good time. We do a showcase and agency fair every year. The end of the year, we like our students to showcase the work they do for the parents in the community. And we bring in community agencies to help connect parents to resources available in the community that they may not know about. For the past 2 years, we've done a Christmas extravaganza where we have Santa and provide an opportunity for kids. It's a Polar Express afternoon where they get to enjoy the activities. And then we do a really wonderful night called Experience Dyslexia. If you've never been, it's a wonderful thing where you really get to see what it's like to have dyslexia. We go through stations to truly understand what a student who has dyslexia experiences on a day-to-day basis. Teachers, students, this year we had a big cohort from Texas Lutheran University. One of the professors sent a bunch of prospective teachers, and they really were amazed and impressed, and I think it was a great evening for everybody. We had a big time. We run special education PLCs where we pull the special ed teachers together to work on how can we support the learning of students better. And we're better together, we're better as a team. We talk through instructional strategies, we come up with great plans for our students as a group so we can build cohesive programs across the district. What's next? We're always expanding that PLC process to work more with our teachers to get knowledge to teachers about how best to serve students. We're expanding the Behavior Reset Center. That program has been just a great use of our resources. We continue to offer summer camp opportunities so all students can get some support during the summer as well. And we actively work with campus administrators to recruit and retain high quality staff, provide ongoing support to teachers to better serve students. And we're preparing for next year. We're going to get a TEA routine cyclical monitoring visit. So we're preparing for that audit. So it's a big undertaking, but we're prepared for that as we speak. And I cannot say enough about our teachers. They move mountains daily. My staff is invaluable. I've got the best team in the district, and they are out there daily on campuses serving students. You walk through my office during the day, there's nobody in the office. Everybody's out, and that's the way we like it. So, thank you so much for the opportunity to present. Questions?
I've had one. You kind of answered it, but the art facilitators that are new, do they office out of the district?
They office here. They serve multiple campuses.
Okay.
So they might have 2 to 3 campuses depending on the number of students at a campus. They carry a caseload of about 200 to 250 students that they're serving, which is a large number, but it's been doable so far. So that is either 2 or 3 campuses. The high school is 1.
If our numbers increase, will those hopefully increase?
Yes, we're having to look at staffing right now. Our numbers are increasing, so we're trying to find creative ways to ensure that staffing is equitable. Thank you.
I have one. So is dyslexia going now under your services?
It is.
Okay.
Dyslexia used to be a completely separate program, not a part of special education. And in the last year, we saw this coming about 5 years ago. So Seguin ISD was at the forefront. We moved dyslexia towards special education for many years, where we are fully integrated with special education now. We're helping other districts find a way to do this as we accomplished this quite some time ago. So yes, it is. It's a full special ed program. So you must be in special ed to get dyslexia services now.
The other thing I wanted to talk about is the art facilitator and the need for it, because I was in a day where we didn't have those, and there was no time in my day as a teacher to sit down and do the immense amount of paperwork you have to fill out for an IEP. And I would sit on my at night after the kids went to bed with all these folders on my lap, trying to fill out, well, this is before computers.
Right.
It isn't the computers. Sorry, I'm aging myself.
They are triplicate.
Yes. Yeah, oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are priceless. Those are facilitators, and that's a lot even on them.
Yes, and we have found that to be the case, and it helps teachers stay in the classroom to work with students, and it's just been a great thing. As we're facing staffing shortages and things of that nature, to be able to provide that support to teachers is invaluable. So, yes, great.
I just had a couple of questions. First of all, thank you for the presentation and keeping us informed. At one point, we had students from Luling, because they're a smaller district. Do we still have that?
Yes, we are in a cooperative arrangement with Luling, so we help provide special ed services. I would say at the elementaries, there's about 8 students that come to our essential academics program. The middle school, there's about 5, and there's 2 at the high school that time. So it's a minimal impact to our campuses, but we are in a service arrangement where they provide, we get their federal funding and they pay a tuition fee for students to come here. We additionally provide some guidance and support for their programs on campuses.
Why we're doing that, because it's a good way to help our neighbors.
It's a great benefit to both districts.
And the last question is behavior reset centers. Maybe by the end of the year or in the summer, we can get a number, if it's possible, by campus as far as how many students went through that center.
Absolutely, yes, I can get you that data and the results, the reduction in disciplinary referrals for the students that are served by this program. It's amazing.
That would also be good data.
Yes.
And that's elementary and secondary?
It's elementary and middle school right now. We're hoping to expand to the high school next year. We've got a position posted already, so we can get that program going because it's been a great benefit. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
And now we'll move to item 4D, elementary and secondary middle year data review. Monica, will give us a presentation.
Good evening, Board President Guetta, Dr. VP, and board members. I'm here today to go over our interim data for all schools in the district. Just a little summary on interim testing. It is created at the district level using the STAR release from the previous year. Okay, so it's just a review overall data capture on what then action steps schools can move forward in to prepare for the test. Here we have reading language arts, all levels for tested content from grade 3 to high school English 2. Both of these graphs are similar. One has the bars and then the other is just the percentage. The pink bar being your approaches, blue bar at meets, and your green at masters. So starting with grade 3, we had our approaches at 55, meets at 32, and then masters at 10. I won't go through this whole entire graph, but just an idea, you can kind of look through where we are at this point in time. And this was taken, the interim test was taken probably a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Here is the breakdown in reading language arts by school. And I did give it a comparison to last year's interim data that was taken around the same time as well. One of our strategic goals was to focus on meets and have some growth in that area. You can see we did have growth from last year's interim to this year's interim. So there is some growth, which is fantastic. So this is also our 4th grade. You can see there I highlighted in pink our meets area for this year, and then our meets area last year. And if you look closely, we do have quite a few growth. I'll just go with our district growth. We were at 24 meets last year, 32% meets this year. Here's our 5th grade data as well this year compared to our last year. Fifth grade is our grade level that was affected highly by COVID, so you can kind of see the differences here in growth, but we are making some gains. Then I have AGB and Barnes at our middle school. We have our 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade meets for AJB, and our 6th, 7th, 8th grade meets for Barnes in English Language Arts. In math, here's our bars from grade 3 to high school algebra, and to include all of the grade levels in math. We have our grade 3 at 52 approaches, 17% meets, and 5% masters. Both of these are the same. One is just giving you the percentage instead of the bar. Here are the schools broken down by school. We have our 3rd grade for this school year's meets in comparison to our last year meets. I forgot I have a little cursor here, I can actually point. And then we have our 4th grade benchmarks for this year meets versus our last year meets. And then here's our 5th grade. All of the schools in elementary meets this year versus our last year's. And our AJB and algebra at AJB is at 48% meets. I'm going to highlight the 89% approaches and 30% masters for AGB algebra. And then our algebra in Barnes, 85% approaches, 47% meets, and 25% masters. So our algebra kids do very well. Here's our social studies for secondary. We have it's the only tested grade level, which is 8th grade, and then of course our U.S. history at the high school level. You'll notice here our high school students are at 92% approaches, 60% meets, and 27% masters. Our goal here for social studies and science, you'll see that both of the high schools are doing very well in both of those content areas. So our goal there for high school would be that they meet distinction. That is just an academic achievement and recognizing that that content has excelled. Here's our 5th grade science benchmark. We can see there going down, we have our meets, our district starting at 28% meets. From last year was at 16% meets. So we did have some growth in 5th grade science. We have our interim in biology for our AGB and Barnes in high school. All the way down we can see our meets in comparison to last year as well. Some of the things that we've been working on and some of our next steps, we had our principals analyze their data. They identified their strengths, challenges, set some goals, and made some predictions. Principals shared their ideas to their colleagues and shared out their plan of actions. This next week, I'll be going in and accompanying some principals, doing some walkthroughs to see some of the successes of their plan of action. Coordinators are supporting teachers with STAR review strategies, closing student gaps, and quick assessments to check for student understanding. So we have all feet on the ground at this point. Now we have created some support resources. We have created for teachers some Google folders for some quick check understandings. We call them exit tickets, so they can just pull a quick exit ticket to close out their class to check for understanding to ensure that students understood that particular TEK. And we created items to review for STAR testing. And we are also focusing on math review for the next few weeks, next 2.5 weeks. Do I have any questions?
When is the STAR test?
We start April 15th. Will be our first test.
Is there, I'm sorry I didn't get to this before the meeting. but it really seems like we're struggling in math.
Yes, sir, we are struggling a little bit in math. We have identified some focus areas for the, and they started focusing on this already a week or so ago. So we do have the math coordinators working vigorously with our teachers. So hopefully we see some growth. Not hopefully, we will see some growth. There's always gaps to be closed.
First of all, thank you for the presentation. We purchased a software, Agree, that software that we purchased last year, we're looking into it. Agree. Does that tie in with all the data? As far as keeping a track, not yet, but eventually that'll be also an important tool to help identify the students that are in need. I mean, zero in on what they need.
Real time, yes, yes.
Which we
And
have
also, right, and we've been looking at the data and supporting principals and their teams, how to identify those gaps.
We'll give you a tool that we can,
Yes. Any other questions? Thank you.
So now we'll move to item number 5, closed session. The board will adjourn into closed session pursuant to the following sections of the Open Meeting Act. 5A, pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.071, 551.074, 551.129, consultation with legal counsel, including possible telephone consultation with legal counsel as necessary, to address legal concerns, implications, and answer any legal counsel as necessary, to address legal concerns and implications and answer any legal questions regarding posted agenda items. 5B, pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.074, discuss personnel matters, including appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of employer or employees. 5C, pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.072, discuss the sale, purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. So it is 7:44, and we'll now go into closed session.
So there recess.
board will take appropriate action on items if necessary, as discussed in closed session, and there will be no action items taken for number 6. We will now move on to item number 7, the consent agenda items. Consider and possible approval as applicable. Policy BE local states that the consent agenda shall include items of routine and recurring nature grouped together under one action item. All such items shall be acted upon by one vote without separate discussion, unless a board member requests that an item be withdrawn for individual consideration. The remaining items shall be adopted under a single motion and a vote as applicable. 7A, approval of board minutes of special meeting, February 15th, 2024, public hearing, February 27th, 2024, and regular meeting, February 27th, 2024. 7B, approval of tax collection reports for February 2024. 7C, approval of district-wide vehicle maintenance parts and services. 7D, approval of district-wide HVAC system maintenance, equipment, parts and services. 7E, approval of district-wide facilities maintenance, electrical equipment, parts and services. 7F, approval of district-wide special education services. 7G, approval of district-wide education consulting services. 7H, personnel information, professional employee. 7I, acknowledge Public Information Act request, February through March 2024. Does any board member wish to pull one of these agenda items? If not, do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda items?
Move to approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
Motion has been made by Denise Gritton, and second by Linda Duncan. Any discussions? Any discussions? All in favor, raise your right hand. 7-0. So now we'll move on to item number 8. Are there any board comments and requests? Item number 9, to adjourn the meeting. Meeting has been made by Ben Amador and second by Carl. I'm just giving him a hard time. Carl Dickens. Any discussions? Any discussions? All in favor, raise your right hand. 7-0, motion passed. Meeting adjourned.